everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of Gaffing the Truth. My name is Jeff with a G, and my compatriot right over there is the one and only Scabs the Clown. How's it going, Scabs?
It's going, man. It's going. Not much crazy going on, just working, doing day-to-day stuff, painting and stuff. What about you? Anything good going on?
Work. Most exciting thing, I always like. There's a new bar restauranty thing opening up here in Austin, like within the next week or two, and apparently it's like kind of circusy themed,
Hmm.
because everybody knows my day-to-day job involves working in a costume shop, and they were all coming in to get outfit like circusy, dark carnival-y circusy outfits, to do pictures. And then, but the talk is like if they like those outfits who are getting the pictures, so like they may turn those outfits into being their uniforms or what they wear for the bar. And I had a long
Nice.
conversation with the dude about how they were doing stuff. He goes, "Yeah, we want to bring in like circus and sideshow people and burlesquers and like like singer songwriter stuff." I go, "Well, it just so happens." And we have a mutual friend who's going to be performing there, so I'm going to see what their take is on it before I commit to anything. Uh, it's just let's see
Yeah,
how it's
let me
run and
know. I'll
stuff
make
like
a
that.
I'll make a little day trip out of that. That'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. I figured if it's legit, then yeah, like I'm going to put believe me, the all call will go out. Because I'm just like, yeah, like once upon a time, I used to book and do variety shows, and I'm a sideshow performer showing off my little sideshow tattoo, and so I go, hey, yeah, I'm down as long as everything's safe and good because I don't want to promote anything that isn't safe for everybody. He goes, no, this is what we're doing. Plexiglass everywhere. It's all like
Hmm.
app stuff as far as when ordering and things like that. So it's like literally outside. Like once a customer to come in has to buy a ticket. There aren't going to be randos walking in and stuff like that. And so in order for them to get the ticket, they have to get all the stuff going. You have to be safe and da da da. They have temperature checks before coming in, and like the guy was like putting in like this week like those super like heavy duty sprinkler systems that has like the big disinfectant, so overnight it's just going to rain down every like one closing door, walking out, just intense detox.
That's
So
that's pretty rad.
I'm just going, so far everything sounds great. And
Yeah.
how they're doing the stage, they cut the stage in half to allow making sure there's like staging areas for any like acts and stuff like that to come in and out. And he wants people to come in and like they'll do like 15-minute sets, like came like just like fucking like vaudeville or doing like that shit. You know, 15 sets, 15, 15. You're like, you may have rotating, but that's the idea. And I go, all right, everything sounds good so far.
Hmm.
Let's see how the
Yeah.
execution is. So yeah, so that was my excitement this week, was talking like literally the guy came in like every day for the last 4 days with different people from his staff to get outfitted. So I ended up talking to this guy and with some of the staff that like bartenders, waitresses, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see.
Nice.
That was
Cool.
my summit, and then of course, didn't doing this stuff and whatnot. Uh, so uh, So today we talked about some fun stuff to do, and I had an idea because I've been talking to some people about it. Was the idea of the doppelganger? I thought it was a cool thing to talk about. It's one of those things that there are a lot of things in lore, like ancient lore, as far as mythology and things like that, involving the doppelganger, and then ranging anywhere from things like fetches from back in like the Celtic days and stuff like that, and just all sorts of stuff with Fae and things like that. And then like even comes up to the modern days, especially when you have people saying celebrities are or aren't who they say they are and that sort of stuff. So it has a lot bigger say than just going, we're going to talk about famous people. But I just thought it was cool and interesting and something a little bit out of the norm, as far like we're the norm, but out of the
Yeah.
normal what we
And
normally talk.
I found I went on Wikipedia for doppelganger, and it's a pretty good description of like what it actually is. A doppelganger, literally, doppel. It's a German word. Doppel means double, ganger means walker. So doppelganger, double walker, is a biologically unrelated look-alike or a double of a living person. In fiction and mythology, doppelganger is often portrayed as a ghostly or paranormal phenomenon and usually seen as a harbinger of bad luck, Other traditions and stories equate a doppelganger with an evil twin. In modern times, the term twin stranger is occasionally used. The word doppelganger is often used in more general, natural sense and in slang to describe any person who physically resembles any person. Which, yeah, I mean, most of the experience, I've had some doppelganger experiences that are somewhat paranormal and also some that are, like I was a white dude in the early 2000s with a long beard and long hair who went to metal shows. So yeah, I saw me a bunch of times. One time in particular, it was really weird because we did look exactly like each other. We were both wearing like straw cowboy hats, had a long beard, had longish hair, and like we just like wearing like similar bracelets, similar clothes, everything. We just looked exactly like each other. And there's a picture of me with him somewhere from years ago, but yeah, it's probably on MySpace or an ex's old phone or something.
Weirdly enough, it's actually statistically speaking for the quote unquote like a facial doppelganger, where somebody that looks so similar to you that you almost be mistaken. It's actually 1 in 1 trillion. The chances of finding
That
somebody who's like 1 in 1 trillion. So there are
yeah,
people who look kind of like look mostly like you out there, because 1 in 1 trillion means uh, roughly. I mean, I'm just gonna make up math here. So roughly half, like half of the, basically half of the basically within half of the population. So take half the population, and in that half of the population, there are those people, there are doppelgangers within that stuff, and the other half, they're nice and unique. I've heard
mm,
people tell me that they saw me in some places where I've never been. So I was going,
yeah, and I've totally seen like friends at places and then texted them and be like, "Hey, are you at here?" And they're like, "No, I'm at home." And I actually asked on Facebook and got one of those as an answer. They sent a picture of themselves from the back, just kind of looking sideways, waiting in line to get a beer. And I was like, "What am I missing in this picture?" And he said, "My friend sent me this picture and asked, when did you get here?" And he replied, "No, I'm at home." I mean, it's just a Facebook friend, but like I
yeah,
looked at it and I was like, "Whoa, that looks exactly like you."
yeah.
Like yeah, that's kind of weird.
No, that is really weird. And as I said, like through ages of time, it's it's one of those things that existed for a long. I think the Norse had a thing about doppelgangers. Sometimes shapeshifters will take the place of somebody else to the evil
Yeah,
twins, or to take over their lives, thing like that.
actually, that's kind of one of the ones I wanted to get into. Was
Okay.
I heard about these a long time ago, and it recently got brought up on a podcast that I was listening to, and it's a I'm gonna butcher this name, but the Varduger. It is a also known as a Vardivi or Vidiger, is a spirit predecessor in Scandinavian folklore. Stories typically include instances that are nearly deja vu in substance, but in reverse, where a spirit with subject's footsteps, voice, scent, or appearance and overall demeanor precedes them in a location or activity, resulting in witnesses believing they've seen or heard the person before the person physically arrives. This bears a subtle difference from a doppelganger with a less sinister connotation. It has been likened to being a phantom double or a form of bilocation. In Finnish folklore, the concept is known as Etanian. Yeah, that's probably it. But yeah, like I've had situations like that where, you know, back when I was living with my parents, like in high school, I knew when my mom would be home, and I was just in the other room, hear the door open, hear her walk in, hear her set her keys down, hear her, shuffle around in the kitchen, and then I walk out into the kitchen and nobody's there. And it's like, maybe she went to the restroom. That's weird. And then I turn around and the door opens and she comes in, sets down her keys, shuffles around in the kitchen. Like, I literally heard it just happen. And then nothing happened, but then they were there.
So
I've had that happen here on more than one occasion
so the
in
glitch in
that
the
sense.
matrix. So
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's kind of what I like. I was product of I was a product of the 90s and 2000s. Yeah, it was just a glitch in the matrix. I know what deja vu is.
of course, there's also Vujade, where you're doing something that has never happened before.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, have you ever had any instances like that where you thought somebody was there, you could like just kind of feel them there, but then all of a sudden, like they weren't there, and then they showed up?
Um, I would probably I have, and it's also that thing like you expect somebody. Oh, it's 2 o'clock, so the thing is going to happen. So your body gets used to that rote, and I think a lot of it's just. I think I've had those sort of things happen, but I think that's more of your mind just kind of tricking yourself. Going, okay, it's 2 o'clock, so this thing happens, and so you're already playing it off in your head, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what a lot of it comes into play. Is the fact is like, yeah, we're just you're back. All right, cool. So we're doing this thing now. Oh wait, we weren't like. And so you're already halfway through it, and then suddenly then it starts, and you're going, oh, that's weird. And just, but I think it's the mind is a weird and fucked up thing, and so it likes to trick you sometimes with that sort of stuff because you're just like habit,
Mm-hmm.
habit, habit. Like it's like your mom comes
Yeah.
every day at this time, so you're already playing that time. Going, oh, it's 2 o'clock or whatever time it is. Your mind's already playing out the scene, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's
Yeah.
but
I mean,
then
I've
you
had
said
it. I've had it in the more paranormal sense as well, like doppelgangers. Like when Joe and I first started dating, and I'd be at their place, wake up or in the morning brushing my teeth, and then see them walk by the bathroom door and go into the living room kitchen area, and then I walk out there and nobody's there, and I go back and look in the bedroom, and they're still in bed. Or one morning, like I woke up for work. They didn't have to go to work till later. When I woke up for work, and I was going to put my shoes on, and occasionally they would get up and come lock the door behind me because I didn't have a key at the time.
mm-hmm.
But one morning I'm sitting there on the couch, head down, putting my shoes down, and I literally see them walk from the other room, kind of like power walking, and I could hear the ground moving, and they just stopped by the door. And I had one of those moments. I was like, oh, damn, are you trying to get rid of me already? I said that out loud, and I looked up, and there's nobody there. And I'm like, I'm leaving. Bye. Like, but like I've had weird instances like that, like fairly often, especially in that apartment that we lived in for a little while before we got this place.
Okay.
Not so much here though. It kind of happens here and there, but like it was a almost daily thing at that apartment. It was really weird. But we also had some weird experiences at that apartment. That apartment I also saw, like while I was doing the dishes, like the bar area where the sink was looked into the living room, and I saw kind of a flash of light. So I looked up, and then I saw the coffee table hit the ground. Like
Okay.
it had been levitating. Like I saw everything shake on it and fall off of it. Like I'm not gaining anything from making this up. Like, and I don't care if people think I'm lying. I know I fucking saw this shit. It's one of those situations.
I don't doubt you saw something. I never do. Now,
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't explain it whatsoever, but I saw something.
all right.
And you already know my stance on ghosts and everything.
Oh, I know. I know. Um, in other instances, of doppelgangers is like as to kind of segue into something else. As we get into kind of more the conspiracy round when it comes to doppelgangers and the idea of lookalikes and whatnot. There's actually a weird urban legend involving the Beatles. Paul McCartney. He's one of the quote unquote last two of them, if you want to get technical, or if you believe him to be who he really is. Um, Supposedly, what happened back in 1966, um, he died. Actually, they even have a date, like November 9th, 1966. Supposedly, he died and was secretly replaced by a look-alike. And they've been talking about this since 1967. That the fact is he got, something like that had happened. Apparently, he had died from a car crash back on that date, and they replaced him with a person who was who won a look-alike contest, who sometimes gets identified as like either William Campbell or like a stage name like like Billy Shears. And since then, supposedly they put in like hidden messages into all their songs saying, that Paul's fake, like ranging anywhere from like Glass Onion and like from 1968's Glass Onion, where he says, "Here's another clue for you all: the walrus was Paul." The famous cover of Abbey Road has Paul walking barefoot and out of step with everyone else. All sorts of other weird stuff like that. Literally is like all the like since then, and like that, even like saying that he was real. Paul himself released a live album back in 1993, which he called "Paul is Live." So it's kind of he always had fun with it as well. So, but it's just like one of those weird sort of things. The idea is the fact is that they found a doppelganger. Like supposedly Paul McCartney died. They found a doppelganger,
I'll
and
have
they
to
kept
look that
making
one up
music. So it's
too.
1966.
Was it Avril Lavigne who had a celebrity doppelganger? I mean, there's
Actually,
celebrity
yeah,
doppelgangers all the time.
Avril, yeah, that's because the celebrity doppelganger stuff I find fascinating too. But yeah, back in I'm gonna pull that up. So what happened was that's like way back. Like the idea was like back in since 2015, not a little earlier, but apparently Avril had lost her back right when she released her first album called Let Go, which is the album that blew up. Um, she her grandfather died, who apparently she was really close to, and she was so close to him that she ended up killing herself right at the time of the release of the record. And because of the commercial success, they found an actress that looked like her to become Avril Lavigne.
Hmm.
And like, there's well, the idea is that everybody says there's like so much different stuff like that because the idea like fact is that first record, which had like Complicated and Skater Boy and stuff like that, and then the following records sound very different than what that record was like
Yeah, weird
musically.
that an
So
artist would completely change their style at some point in their career. Never heard of that before.
yeah, but the fact is like fans have chimed in noting mysterious moles and freckles from different places that were in one photo shoot would have a freckle there and another photo shoot it wouldn't be there, that sort of stuff. Uh,
Do you remember when Sugar Ray was kind of a grunge punk band?
Oh, they were like fucking like hardcore. They were like a hardcore, like the fact is like that first record where they did Fly, that was the only song that sounded like that on that record. Everything
Yeah,
else was
dude.
kind
Like
of
I love their old
speed.
school shit, like Mean Machine and all shit like that. Like
Yeah.
all their old shit. Like yeah, they're just like thrash and like all fast and punk, and it's really cool. And then just like I just wanna fly.
Then that song blew up and they went, fuck it. We're just like that made us money. Let's fucking cash in. Just
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. They didn't sell out. They bought in.
that's well, there's no such thing as selling out. The idea of selling out is ridiculous. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just my opinion on it. But yeah, like Avril Lavigne was another person, other famous people. Of course, there's also I didn't pull it up, but I thought about another one. Let me see if I can track it down. But
Well,
like
also, would you consider doppelganger like in the sense of like you see those it's more of a vampire thing, but you see like the Keanu Reeves paintings, like the 18th century fucking paintings that look exactly like Keanu Reeves or
well, that I
other
think that
political figures or celebrities, and it's like, whoa, okay, that's weird.
no, it's I mean that still kind of counts. I would think. Because that's still look. I mean, it's still the idea to look like. The fact is, like someone like Keanu Reeves is a great example. I think Nicolas Cage is another one, like from like Ancient and along with
Yeah, Nicolas
others.
Cage, I've seen that one. I'm just hopping on
Uh,
Facebook to see if we can get some more of our friends' accounts of stories. People who are actually
there's
real.
also there's also a thing like you want look. Also, there's one about Tupac.
Oh yeah, I mean Machiavelli. Yeah, hell yeah. I already know. Yeah, that one's like so old. I remember that one in like high school.
No,
Machiavelli is like it's an anagram for I'm alive or something stupid. But what about the other letters, guys? Like
oh, I get even worse. Like the crazy. Like I just pulled up a thing about it because I remember hearing something else about it. Like there was a rap artist from back in like the late two because like the like mid 2000s that kind of looked pretty much like him, but I wasn't thinking. And then the guy who played him in the movie All Eyes on Me looked fucking like him. It's crazy, but like obviously age
I've
wise
seen a
didn't
lot
work.
of pictures of dudes who just like want to dress like Tupac for Halloween and look exactly like Tupac. But
Well,
also the same
apparently,
thing with, you know, like Slash or like any celebrity that has like a certain look. It takes a certain person to, you know, just bam, they just look like that person once they put on their, you know, costume, quote unquote, for a
actually, no,
celebrity.
the new thing is like somebody showcasing video from the MGM Grand around the time because like Tupac was killed in 1996 in Vegas, and talk is that it wasn't Tupac that got killed, but rather a body double, and then Tupac basically went to go live off in the islands.
If we can get into body doubles, man, like,
Well, that's body double.
but
That's
like
what
there's
that's
been so many like,
doppelganger.
yeah, I mean, like Hitler had body doubles, quote unquote. Every like weird like dictator had some kind of body double. I mean, Padme had a body double. Queen Amidala and all that, you know, fucking
Well,
nerds.
no, she had handmaidens that all looked that all with makeup all looked exactly alike. So, and they all took
Yeah,
turns apparently.
yeah. So one of the comments on my post was, so long story short, it turned out to be a mirror.
That happens.
I have been that high before as well. I get it. One of my other friends, Drew Baca, Drewski, my buddy, said, "Not of me, but I did find a doppelganger of my cousin Melissa in Colombia. She was baking arepas."
Ooh.
That's a good one. What of mine? Like one of my random ones. I went to a long time ago, long time ago. Obviously, I went to a church camp with one of my friends growing up, and it was like, yeah, it was a camp thing. Like, cool, let's go to camp. I don't care if it was a church thing, but went to the camp, and during lunch one day, they had like the fucking buffet style setup, and I was eating, and I looked up, and I saw my friend that like I went to elementary school with. Like, I mean, I think I was like in fifth grade or some shit. So I saw somebody that I knew from like school, and I was like, wait, that's not him though. It has his exact features, his eyes, his nose, his lips, everything. Except David was David Lopez. He was Hispanic, and this kid was a white kid with a lighter complexion and blonde hair. But they looked, other than that, it was uncanny. It was ridiculous seeing that kid and going like, wait, that's not my friend. That's some dude who looks exactly like my friend, except his ethnicity and his hair.
Okay.
I've also seen another friend at Poncho's Mexican cafeteria. Loved that place back in the day. I haven't been in years, but the only difference was this kid had a rounder nose, and took me in one of those weird tailspins of like finally realizing like weird genetics and everything, and how like all it takes is one slight thing to make somebody look completely different. But otherwise, this looked like my best friend, except his nose was a little more round in the bridge.
Okay. Um, with doppelgangers, you can also say they're kind of like clones as well. So it's kind of a branch just like that. So, um, pulling up some fun stuff. Apparently, Megan Fox is actually a series of clones.
I've heard that before. I've heard that because she's not the same person in the Transformer movies, because she got older because they were a couple years apart.
Well, take a look at those weird thumbs she has. No, the fact.
As you can tell,
Apparently,
she's a
she's.
clone. Weird thumbs.
Yeah, no. The fact is, no. If you look at her thumbs, they look like big toes. I mean, she has weird thumbs. Um, I mean, it's fine, but it's like one of those weird kind of things. Like, just. Yeah. Actually, Megan Fox is replaced every once in a while with the clones created by the government, and these are referred to by this weird forum. They call it a weird forum user named is Fagin. So every time she looks a little different, which could easily be explained by the process of aging or the fight against it, it's actually a new clone. I guess it changes her acting style because it's just to get a new clone for it. I don't know. Or the fact is, like Miley Cyrus is actually also is like basically is actually an old body double because apparently she probably died back in 2010 due to a drug overdose. But I think that probably comes down to the fact is like she just did such a hard left after Disney that they go, well, it can't be really her because
Mhm.
she was on Disney, and I think
So
she did that, did it all just because that way she would never be hassled by Disney.
that's understandable. If I was involved with Disney and didn't want to be anymore, I feel like I would have to, fake my own death.
Well, or you just do something like that. Like Anne Hathaway was going to be fast becoming a big person with like the Princess Diaries and stuff like that, and then she did a movie where she showed her tits, and then suddenly she wasn't Disney's Golden Girl anymore. So
How dare she?
basically, I'm old enough to show them, so I'm showing them. And so I don't think she did it because of that, but like, to get out of Disney. But it's one of those. It was really
I
convenient.
mean, apparently Hollywood pays a pretty penny for some titties.
Yeah. Hometown girl from Houston, Beyonce apparently is a clone. She apparently died back in 2010 as well, which seems to be very popular. Um, they took stem cells from her body and do so. I mean, apparently she's also a clone, which I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Somebody I actually know commented on my post, and not really a doppelganger, more genetics, but still a little wild. Long story short, my mom had an affair on who I thought was my father with a family friend. Well, he was married also. Somewhere I was conceived. He had a daughter with his wife as well. 20 something years later, my mom admitted to me about the affair, and well, me and his daughter look identical. Definitely a genetics thing, but still, like, it'd be wild to, have to deal with that whole story.
Oh yeah, that just no, that's fair. Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah. There's the picture, uh, yeah, that might be kind of hard to see for this. Also, our buddy Iggy Harrison, love that guy.
Yeah, it's a good
Um,
guy.
Interesting story. I grew up with mine. It was made worse that his name is Brian. My real name is Ryan, and he was a twin brother. We met through baseball before attending the same junior high where we also played football together. So Brian and Ryan just had to be like the same exact person doing the same exact things. One of
Yeah.
my other friends, I haven't seen her, but several people swear they see me at random places I'm not at in Tomball.
And for those people listening, Tomball is a little small town just outside of Houston.
Yeah, very very small area.
Um,
But just know they're all better than you.
no, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I've been to Tomball. Another imposter, doppelganger slash clone. How about Eminem? Uh, Back in 2011,
Without me,
Eminem.
yeah, he did that whole song about being a clone.
That's true. But basically, back in 2011, he said he had writer's block for like 4 years, which explains why there was 4 years differences between two records, Encore and Relapse. But the
Mm-hmm.
real reason is that he actually died in a car crash organized by the Illuminati after he
Oh, I
refused
thought you
to
were gonna
work
say
with them.
Suge Knight. Damn it!
No, yes, that would have been funny because it's just as plausible. So basically, as I said, he's very, very different than those. And true fans don't buy the switch at all. Goes on to say that the clone is or a doppelganger is actually a satanic homosexual sellout. Eminem, who's leading the younger generations into being slaves to the New World Order. Or maybe he's just the real Slim Shady. I don't know. Uh, and then one of my favorites as well. Actually, I have two favorites. We'll go the first one first. Is that Taylor Swift? Uh, Taylor Swift is not Taylor Swift, or at least who not was. Taylor Swift is actually Zena LaVey, like Anton LaVey's daughter.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to look this up and send it to a buddy of mine because he is obsessed with her. He's got her fucking autograph tattooed on his hand. He's got
Wait,
Taylor
do
Swift
you
on his
know?
hand,
Oh
among all
yeah.
his other
Well,
crazy ass
the
tattoos.
fact is, I see a picture here. They look really similar. Other than the fact is, there's at least a decade in between these pictures, so it's like unlikely that it's still a weird kind of fact. But they do look a lot of fucking like. So,
Yeah. I don't know if you saw my post about asking people about their doppelganger stories, but what I posted, and I hope some people got it. I posted a picture just in case, but I said, got a doppelganger story? I'm not talking about the rad Spider-Man villain. I'm talking about seeing someone's unrelated twin and posted a
yeah.
picture of doppelganger because that was like one of my favorite Spider-Man villains because he's just so weird. But anyway, I had a couple other people. Carrie Rice said, the guitar player from this band, the supervillains that people think is me, they played at Scout Bar in Clear Lake, right outside of Houston. And I signed about 15 autographs before I realized they didn't want shit to do with me. And our buddy Eli Self. Okay, since you know Eli, I'm going to show you this
I
picture.
love Eli. Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
That does kind of look like Eli with hair. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see
Or
if
like
I
long
can.
hair. Eli has hair, but like that's long hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that does
But
kind of
I
look
mean,
like him. Yeah.
it is a pandemic, so I don't know, man. Like Eli might have long hair now. Who knows? I
That's
haven't
true.
seen him in a while. Miss you, buddy.
Yeah. And then Paradox is in the chat, and he goes, "I suspect that Greta Girl has a doppelganger too." I'm assuming Greta, the environmentalist from Europe.
You know,
Could
I've
be.
actually heard I've read something on that. I didn't see much else. It might be kind of obscure, hard to find. You know, like just like Elvis shot Kennedy, mostly because they don't want you to know. But I have seen like the thing about Greta being a clone or being a twin that gets paraded around.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't watched the video. I haven't watched the documentary yet about it's on Hulu or whatever. Um,
I don't know. I just fall down some weird rabbit holes sometimes.
um, all right. So this is my favorite. I have it when it comes to celebrity doppelganger slash clones or whatever. Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
Uh,
All right. All right.
Katy Perry was actually Katy Perry is actually the clone or doppelganger of someone else, uh, and the person that they actually are, John Benet Ramsey.
Oh, wow. I like that. Keep going.
So yeah, so instead of so John Benet Ramsey either A faked her own death or it was cloned is the idea. We're not really sure, and became Katy Perry.
Oh
Uh,
my God. Wow. Man, like the John Bonet story, because I don't know, it was, I was very intrigued by it, I guess because it happened while I was alive. You know, like
yeah,
I was pretty young when it happened and it was all over the place. So it's a very interesting story to me. Like, you know, it's never been solved. Nobody knows what happened. The
it's
parents
not
have
going to
been
be.
absolved, but like the parents' involvement is so weird. The cops fucking up. The weird ransom note that's like 5 pages long. Like just everything about it is so wild. It's a wild
Uh,
story, and it does it's very intriguing to me, and I've never heard that before. So that's so fucking cool.
I know. I was like, because I'm going through this stuff like this weird shit. And I'm
But
like, what's
also,
what's so
Jeffree
weird?
Star getting multiple John Benet Ramsey tattoos is fucking creepy.
Oh, that's just well, Jeffree Star is just creepy in general. That has
Yeah.
that's little that's well beyond just
Yeah,
that just
it's one thing
adds.
to be interested in a true crime story, but it's another thing to like have multiple tattoos of a child beauty queen tattooed on your body. Mm.
Yeah, no, that's just it's weird. It's like when people get dumb tattoos on their body, anyways. That's just dumb.
No, I get plenty of dumb tattoos. I'm just not gonna get like a underage murder victim tattooed on me multiple times. That's just fucking awkward. I don't get it. Like, I might get a John Wayne Gacy quote or something, but like, he's one of the only serial killers that I really like that quote. It's a clown can get away with murder.
Yeah. Well,
also when he was sat in the electric chair and they're like, "Do you have any last words?" He said, "Kiss my ass," and they fried him.
Yeah, there you go.
Also, my favorite true crime killer is Albert Fish. But anyway, if you want to deep dive into Albert Fish someday, fuck.
I don't know. It's at some point we may get into going into true crime and less like conspiracy based because that'd be fun. I mean I could just like both of us
I'd
have
rather do like let's talk about random serial killers instead of deep diving on one because there's a lot of podcasts I already listened to that do that. I would rather just kind of talk about them in passing.
Also fair.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because like I mean, I've brought them up before. I'm a huge like Last Podcast on the Left listener. Like, I love those guys. Like, I'm really listening to Henry Lee Lucas right now. Henry Lee Lucas and Otis Toole, like, fuck, those guys are wild. And like Last Podcast did a great deep dive on them, and I'm re-listening to that one right now because holy shit.
Yeah, Henry Lee Lucas was a pistol. Hey, no, that was an angry man. So,
have you ever heard of Abraham Lincoln's prophetic reflection?
I have not.
Okay, one well-known documentation of a reported doppelganger sighting was from former President Abe Lincoln, who claims to have seen his doppelganger reflected in a mirror on the night he was first elected to office. Looking in the glass, I was reflected. Wait, hang on. Looking in that glass, I saw myself reflected nearly at full length, but my face, I noticed, had two separate and distinct images. The tip of the nose of one being about 3 inches from the tip of the other. I was a little bothered, but the illusion vanished, wrote Lincoln's friend, journalist Noah Brooks, as he transcribes Lincoln's words in his book, Washington in Lincoln's Time. On lying down again, I saw it a second time, plainer if possible than before. And then I noticed that one of the faces was a little paler, say 5 shades, than the other. While Lincoln may have found the phenomenon strange, his wife interpreted it as an omen of tragedy to come. According to the retelling, she allegedly read his vision to say that he would indeed be elected for a second term of presidency, hence his visage appearing to him doubled on the night of his election, but that the sickly, ghastly appearance of his double signified that he wouldn't live through his second term. As we know now, both of these predictions turned out to be true. So I guess it's more like a paranormal doppelganger if he saw it in his reflection.
Yeah, it could be. There's talk of that as far as a weird kind of. I mean, that's a popular trope within horror movies as well, where the reflection in the mirror, there's like another world there.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into stuff. Yeah, we can get into that kind of lore. Also, when I was looking up doppelganger stuff, the movie Us popped up a lot.
Oh, that's a good one.
I started to watch that movie, and it was one of those movies like I can tell I wasn't in the mood for, but I need to actually give it a watch because I've heard nothing but great things about. You ever just like start a movie and you're like, I'm not in the mood for something this serious. I want some like trauma or something like.
Oh no, yeah, no, that's just. It's like one of those things. It was a. When it first came out, it wasn't like because people were disappointed because it wasn't Get Out all over again. But then you once you kind of put Get Out of your mind and watch it separately, it's really good. And a lot of people.
Oh no! I mean, I loved Get Out. I saw Get Out in the theater, and it was a great movie.
Oh no! It's yeah. Jordan Peele. I mean,
yeah, I just knew I wasn't in the mood for that movie. Also, same thing with Midsummer. Like I don't know.
Midsummer.
When I tried to watch that movie, we got about 30 minutes in, and I'm like, I'm not in the mood for this. Can we just watch some like something stupid. Like I'm just in the
Yeah.
mood for dumb shit right now.
Yeah, Midsummer is like a good. That is a slow burn movie, but it just like it. All it is just ramp shit up. It just, oh, it's such a great. The tension that builds in that movie is so good. So, like that's why I like movies that kind of. That's like I don't want to quick like
Mm.
if I really enjoy it like a horror film as we detract from what we're talking about. But
I mean,
I
yeah,
like this.
you're definitely the movie, but you're definitely the movie guy in our
Well, I just like
friendship. Like,
I
and I love movies, but I love like really dumb movies, really obscure
I like
movies,
dumb.
silly
I like
movies.
dumb
I'm a
stuff
big
too.
fan of old black and whites. I'm a big fan of like no CGI movies. That's my
I love
jam.
all
Like
of
I
that.
love the old school shit.
I love
Like
it all.
I was one of those who was really excited about uh Transformers and didn't realize that, you know, this is one of those like we're going to push CGI to the limit in this movie because we're just learning about it and
Oh no, yeah, like Michael Bay, I don't care for his movies. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, Midsummer is also the same guy who did Hereditary, which is also really good.
I loved Hereditary. Hereditary left me like not disappointed with the movie and wanting more.
Yeah, no, it's really good. But it
It
also
was one
has
of
a
those. It was
tense
a weird
build.
fucking ending. Like it was just one of those. Like, hey, this is how it ends. Cut off, and you're like, wait, no, no.
Yes, that's what I loved about it. Yes, I just like it's that's yeah. Midsummer goes the same way too. So it's why I like those movies that kind of just takes like all right, you think you know what's going on? Nah, not really. Fuck
Yeah.
you. It just like a fucks you because like it's like yeah, I'm a movie. I went to school for theater and film, and so it's like like a lot of movies. I can recognize the pattern like that, but I'll still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but those are really good movies. So people are watching. Uh, Jordan Peele is amazing, so go watch Us. Midsummer is also amazing. I watched Tenet that got dropped and released, and so if you want kind of doppelganger kind of in a weird sort of way
Hmm.
because it involves time. Well,
I've
this
heard
one
about Tenet.
involves
I've heard it's one of those like you got to watch it 3 or 4 times to get it kind of movies, and
well, it's a
I'm picky
fully
about
getting.
those.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
because
but
I mean,
it's
I love like 12 Monkeys. You watch that movie like 2 or 3 times, and you're like, oh, okay, now I get it.
you get the
But
broad like
like
okay, you
Tenet,
get the
I'm just
broad
like I hear I'd be
strokes.
really annoyed by it. So
No, it's like you catch the broad strokes after watching it once, and then after you watch a couple of times to watch how those things happen is the idea. So then you but then you of course you miss something. It's Chris Nolan, the dude who fucking did like uh, uh, Inception and
mm,
whatnot. So it's all those movies. He's
yeah,
really
so
brainy. So
yeah, Joe just mentioned the other day like they feel like they need to watch the movie Memento, and I was like, fuck. Oh God,
so good, so
it's such a
good.
great movie, but at the same time, you're just like, what? Fuck you, what?
They actually I think on the DVD or they actually recut it to be a traditional movie because like for those fucking it's been
I've
a
seen
long
the like
because
YouTube posts
the
about
movie's
like
told
here's the black
backwards.
and white side, here's the colored side, like
Yeah,
just if you cut them backwards.
yeah. Basically, it's like it's because the movie's played kind of backwards. That's the spoiler alert. But
Mm,
the movie's been out long enough, so fuck you. So somebody
yeah,
actually cut it. So, somebody cut
yeah.
it
If
as
you've
a
never even heard
streamline.
of Memento at this point, like who are you? Like,
Well, they cut it to streamline it to go like just like a normal movie, and it's fine. It's nothing special. What makes it special is how it's being told.
yeah, no,
But
the way it's filmed and everything, it's a very art piece, and
so
it works that way. It works really well. It's a fuck you movie to me. It's one of those like I get it. I completely understand everything in this movie, but fuck you because you made me watch it backwards. Like
no, it's yeah. So it's if people always talk about movies with me, I'll fucking talk movies all day long, and I love really heady like Chris Nolan, David Fincher for modern directors, Jordan Peele
you know,
also like modern.
I think we do that fairly often enough that like why don't we just have a movie chat one night because why the fuck not just bring
Ooh,
up dumb obscure movies because I know that'd make you happy
I could. I mean,
because
I'll fucking talk.
I'll just say this to you Joe wouldn't watch Meet the Feebles with me.
That's a good movie. I would
I
argue.
fucking love that movie. I love puppets and I love claymation. I hate Nightmare Before Christmas because of what it's become, but I love claymation movies.
Well,
Um, oh,
I saw.
also speaking of claymation, The Adventures of Mark Twain.
Oh shit! Yeah, I played the devil thing, the devil story,
The
on
Mysterious
the Devil's
Stranger.
Hour.
Mysterious
Yeah,
Stranger.
the
Yeah.
Mysterious Stranger.
Oh
I
my
played the
god, I love that
Mysterious
story
Stranger
so
on the
much.
Devil's Hour, because I went and everybody I like people were in the chat watching it and they're going, "What the fuck is this?" I go, "Dude, this was a children's show in the 80s."
I bought it on DVD because it's actually banned in other countries.
Yeah,
So I
it's
bought it on
so
DVD just
fucking
so I could have a
weird.
physical copy of it. But I mean, you can find it on YouTube. You can find it elsewhere. Like you can
Yeah,
find the whole movie elsewhere. But like that
the
scene is
Mysterious
what got it like
Stranger.
banned in other places because Mysterious Stranger, like it's one of those lesser known Mark Twain stories. But like after seeing that as a kid, I read it and it's oh, I love that story and I love the representation of that story. It's fucking amazing.
No, it's oh yeah, but yeah, I love all that stuff, and like I love all like movie stuff. I love all movies. I will watch just about anything. I had a girlfriend who loved Titanic, and I probably saw it like 7 times in the theater.
See, like that's a hard choice because I had a girlfriend who really loved Napoleon Dynamite, and when the movie was over, they would just hit play again.
Oh, then no, I saw like no the Moulin Rouge's all right. I don't get why
I
people.
mean, at least Titanic, I could kind of pick up on other little nuances and other things. But
Oh yeah,
Jesus
like
Christ,
after
watching Napoleon Dynamite like 3 times in a row, it's like,
there's nothing to
can
the
we like go
movie.
outside or something? Like,
Yeah, like funny, yeah, at least with like Titanic, I go, all right, cool, and I'm gonna watch like literally after the third time I watch it, all right, cool, I'm gonna pay attention to how it's being lit. I did that. I got really technical watching that movie. It's just like I feel like, all right, cool. All right, I love
I
how they
mean, the
did the
second half
shadow
is pretty
action in
good.
this
Like
part of
after
the
they hit the
scene.
iceberg, like that gets good. And one of my favorite adaptations of that, I saw it on YouTube years ago, but they had the ship is sinking portion of the movie, the best part of the movie, and they just replaced all the screams with Wilhelm screams.
That's amazing.
So it's just like ah, ah! Like,
We'll have screen for everybody watching this because we've completely detracted, which is still fine. That's what we do. The Wilhelm scream is a
I mean,
famous
yeah,
creature
of
that.
course we did because there's really not much to talk about this subject. I
No,
love
we
this
went over
subject. It's very
doppelgangers because it's
interesting, but
weird, fucked up.
we covered everything.
Yeah, we did. It's kind of weird, and fucked up. We just went, oh, let's do this thing. Oh, that sounds cool. We're gonna have a bigger week next week, I know, and then the rest of the month.
Oh, next week,
Uh,
yeah. I just got a text. My brother might be able to hop on for a minute, quote unquote. So I'm gonna hold him to that. Yeah, yeah.
we'll send
I'm
them.
gonna make him talk about this. Cody, if you're watching right now, if you happen to watch this before this happens, you're getting on this fucking show. You're gonna talk
You are.
about Bigfoot with us. We started this
Yeah,
entire show so Cody would talk Bigfoot with us.
that's it. That's exactly it. It's been 6 months in the making just to get Cody on the show.
That's
uh,
only kind of true.
that
But
yeah, no,
seriously, we've
we did
pushed
talk
Bigfoot
about
back
having him on
so
a long time
far
ago.
just to get Cody on.
Yeah, we did talk about it a long time ago about trying to get him on the show way back, but that wasn't the only impetus. Um, so we have about 9 minutes. Let's get plugs out of the way, then we'll just fuck around until it's time for the thing to end. So Scabs, what do you got to plug?
I've really got nothing to plug this week, man, other than I've got stupid live stream for stupid people on Saturday, and I mean these people like I booked them out of pity. Nobody's ever really heard of them before. Hopefully, if I gotta light a fire under their asses. But yeah, Monsters of Schlock will be on with me on
Oh, nice.
Saturday, and I love hanging with those guys when I can. I love talking to them when I can. They're so much fun.
Much. Hey, because I know you have a dope hat. Make sure you wear it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I planned on it. I planned on it.
Okay, good. Good.
Or I mean, like,
Also good, but like my thing is like, well,
yeah,
that's.
I try to do the pandering thing. So I don't know, man. I might. Joe
Oh, I get
actually
it. I do
has
too.
a shirt and a purse, so I might wear the purse.
Yeah, well, I've got their new shirt, so it's also really cool. Which you pick it up,
Mm-hmm.
monsterslock.com, pick up their new shirt, which is awesome. It says the cleanest hands inside shirt.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
really
like, look
cool.
them up on just like I think they've got their own website. You can find them on YouTube. Everything.
Oh,
They do
they've got an
science
amazing
shows. They do
podcast.
sideshows. They do. Yeah, they're so much fun. I love those guys so much.
I love those guys. So yeah, Monsters Lock. Yeah, definitely. So Saturday, tune in, watch them, and then tune after to watch my show. TBD as far as what's on there. I haven't got a confirmation from my guest yet. Although if I get it, it's gonna be amazing. If I don't, I have a backup plan, which is also still going to be amazing. So either way, it's still good. But Wednesday, I've got the Devil's Hour at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time right here on Cabin Fever live stream. This week, I've got there's a rap artist here out of Austin named Lil Doozy. He's really cool, and I really like the song he's got playing. I also they just released a new video. He just released, and he was styled by yours truly from the costume shops. That's how I got to know him. So he's dressed up in some stuff I put him in. So that's pretty cool. I've got the amazing drag artist out of Houston, Blackberry, who's a lot of fun. They're really, really cool. And then finally, there's a music artist from LA named Kenny Hoopla, who's really, really cool. And plus all the fun and weird shenanigans. Otherwise, that's all I have currently for the week until something comes up. But you can track down our social media, which you can see right below our pictures, see what's going on. And then next week, we've held off as long as we could to talk about this subject, and we realized we can't hold off any longer. So we're gonna start our foray into the foot that is big, the Bigfoot.
Yes,
the Sasquatch.
Yes, I think we have a couple of friends we can bring on if they're free, if they're willing, because I know one Mr. Fox is a big Bigfoot fan.
Oh, that's right. I can text him and find out.
We have a mutual friend who's on a Bigfoot hunter team.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, man, he might be.
Yeah, I don't really know him. Neither of us really know him. Like, he's just a Facebook friend, but he's got a car, he's got a hat, he's got a shirt. Like, might see if you want to pop in.
I mean, like we have the room to judge about weirdos. So, no, I'm on board. We'll reach out to these people and like that. But at the very least, we'll talk about it. We're gonna bring fucking Cody. Cody, you watching?
Yeah, Cody. God damn it! I'm gonna tell him he needs to watch this episode. Watch the last 15 minutes of the episode, because god damn it, Cody, you're doing this fucking show with us, right? Cody. I had him on for Saturday for
he did great.
Stupid live stream. We talked about some 80 Tribe stuff back in the day. And I asked the question. I'm glad it came up in my rotation, because what is your favorite cryptid? And he just reaches over and goes, well, I have this, and busts out a jackalope head, a mounted jackalope head. And I'm like, I've been jealous of that thing for years. And like, now you have to talk about Bigfoot with us.
Yeah, that's no, it should be fun. Either way, yeah, we're gonna have fun with that one. That one might run long, maybe, if we get enough guests. That one, which is fun.
Yeah, totally okay with that.
Yeah. So I don't know, we got a couple of minutes. Now, what do we want to bullshit about?
So Meet the Feebles. You didn't see, what was that? Who did Meet the Feebles?
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. Like, what the fuck? Like, Peter Jackson. I love that movie just because of, like, I had never heard of it before, and then my friend showed it to me, and the whole time I'm just like, but also I love puppets, so like.
Yeah, Peter Jackson did that, and he did Dead Alive.
Dead Alive. That's one of my favorite movies. It's got one of my favorite movie quotes in it. I kick ass for the Lord.
That's exactly which one it was. That's everybody's favorite line in that movie. But no, it's one of those things. Like, it's like he did those two movies, and then he came to the U.S. and did Heavenly Creatures, which is about these weird these girls in England who made friends, and they ended up killing their families or something like that. It was really weird. And then he decided he wanted to make fucking a Hobbit movie. I don't know. It's just The Lord of the Rings is okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah. Oh God, who was the? I was an extra in a movie one time. I forgot who the director was, but apparently he was kind of a big name, and I met him. He was, a nice guy. Friday Night Lights. I was an extra in that movie. You can see me for about 3-4 seconds. It had Tim McGraw, who was a really nice guy, really super cool, and Billy Bob Thornton, who was kind of a fucking dick. Yeah, he's a really piece of shit guy, like no fun, like, you know, wouldn't interact with the fans. You know, when people were talking to him, he turned away. I actually orchestrated with Tim McGraw, all of us flipping him off because Tim McGraw was sitting in the stands with us, and Billy Bob Billy Bob turned around and flipped him off, and Tim McGraw was like, you know, I'm sitting right here, and he's like, you know, 2 seats back behind me. And he was like, that guy's such a jerk. He's an asshole. I hate dealing with him, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I was like, you know, I mean, if you just asked all of us, we'd flip him off with you. And he goes, you're right. Hey, would y'all do this with me? And everybody's like, woo! And he goes, hey, Billy Bob. And Billy Bob turns around, and the whole crowd just flips him off. And Billy Bob takes a bow and walks away.
That's good.
Yeah, but Tim McGraw was a sweetheart. I walked right up to Tim McGraw. They were like, don't ask for autographs, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was doing it anyway. But, you know, I was getting food in the little concession area, and he comes up. He's got 2 bodyguards with him, obviously. This is a movie set. And I was like, hey, man, I don't want to bug you, but I'm not a big fan of your music, but my mom loves you. And he's like, oh, that's really sweet. I appreciate your honesty. I'm like, can you sign this random business card I have? And he signed Tim on it. And I gave it to my mom, and it was really sweet. He didn't have to do that.
No,
Peter Berg. Peter Berg was the director of that one.
Yeah, Peter Berg, yeah.
Yeah, he's got an interesting scar on his face. He's done some acting. Peter Berg was actually a really just like really down to earth guy. He was nice.
No, yeah, he was a 30. He was the Great White Hype. That had Samuel L. Jackson in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Peter Berg as an actor. The one movie I've been in, I was an extra in. You can blink and miss me in the stands like you are. I did Necessary Roughness.
Nice.
Which had like Scott Bakula and Sinbad and Jason Bateman and stuff like that. And Scott Bakula, super cool dude, who would sit with the extras.
Scott Bakula is just a fucking Scott Bakula. You look at him and you're like, he's stoned.
He's a really, really nice guy. Like he like you know, like if lunch breaks, he would sit with the extras and stuff like that and just chat with people and stuff like that. Just be like Sinbad, kind of a jerk. But it's
nice,
also like,
man. I would love to meet Sinbad. I just want to high five Sinbad.
He's kind of a jerk though, so not very nice. Jason
Bateman
that
sucks.
Also, yeah, Jason Bateman was kind of nice too, but this is, you know, it's like the thing, like everybody like, and even like Sinbad wasn't horrible, but he was definitely standoffish. Especially when comparing like Scott Bakula and like Jason Bateman are just hanging out with everybody, and then all the people who like all the other football players who like this was like their biggest role. Unfortunately, Kathy Ireland wasn't there those days. She wasn't part of the thing, but well, at least what we were part of, a thing like that. And like I didn't get to meet like Hector Elizondo or Robert Loggia, but the fact is, like people like Scott Bakula just goes, all right, cool, we're gonna have a break and like eat our little sack lunches, and he sat with all the extras and stuff, but they eat sack lunches with them. So that was kind of cool.
No, I'll bet Scott Bakula seems like a really cool guy. And going back to the Friday Night Lights thing, you know, Billy Bob was a fucking dick, but Billy Bob Thornton's stunt double, which by stunt double I mean the guy that stood in front of the camera because he didn't have a bald spot, but he looked a lot like Billy Bob Thornton, and he would actually play hacky sack with us.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I mean, like, fuck, this is like 99, 2000 when I did this movie, whenever it was, 2001, 2002, somewhere in there. No, actually, no, 2002, 2003, because I graduated in 2002. Yeah, 2003-ish, yeah. So, yeah, I had nothing to do all day, and it was fuck. Like, shooting a movie like that was wild. Get there at 6 a.m., leave at 8 p.m., and just stand in the crowd all day and go, all right, now cheer. And we're like, woo! And they're like, all right, now mime cheer. And we're like,
that's kind of how it was with us, because also like it was a set at they filmed it at the because I just got into college when Necessary Roughness was, and so they were filming that at the University of North Texas, which is where I went to college, and Yeah, literally, that's exactly the same sort of thing. Where but it's like, or even what's crazier is the fact if you pay really close attention, you can see a cardboard cutout person, cardboard cutout person, and so
Dude, okay, yeah, they didn't have cardboard cutouts. They had inflatable torsos with arms that they just like raided thrift stores and threw clothes on.
well, yeah, like that. Yeah, this was like
And they had like
93.
weird
So
plastic masks. I kept one of the masks for years. I stole it off of one of them. I was like, I need one of these like weird just person faces because it was just like a blue-eyed dude who was like like I just stole the mask and just like put it on my shirt. I'm like, I'm taking this. Like I also stole the socks because I went from being a person in the audience to a player. So I got to go change out in the dressing room and the Astrodome and everything. It was really cool.
oh man. So thanks everybody for tuning in to watching the show today. We appreciate it so much. We'll see you guys soon. You'll see me Wednesday. You'll see other of us separately on Saturday. Then you'll see us both together on Monday as we talk about the feet that are big here on Gaffing the Truth. So be safe, be cool, be groovy, and as always, keep drinking. And